Nothing makes me smile more than a glass of pink bubbly, cold and ready to drink. This is my idea of a good time, regardless of where I am and what I'm doing. So we're going to talk about 3 of our rosés today. I'm not sure that I've ever done all 3 of them before, but let's get started. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is the 2016 rosé. And if you can see this, it has little tiny bubbles in this glass. The next 2 are even smaller, and that's kind of a hallmark of Domaine Carneros. The tiny bubbles give you a creamy sensation in your mouth versus a popping sense. It really is kind of cream or richness, but not a hard popping sensation on the palate. So the 16 vintage rosé. I had a chance to taste this and smell this last night, and it came across to me as strawberries in my glass, maybe even wild strawberries and a little bit of cassis. Now, cassis is not something that is grown in the United States. There are agricultural issues, but cassis is a little tiny black currant that's actually famous in the Burgundy region, and it has a very intense flavor, and you may know about cassis because it's often used in cocktails. But I get a little bit of cassis in this and in the next wine, but in this it's strawberries and cassis, and I'm still getting this, and it's a little whiff of smoke in there as well. It has a really fruity palate and a long palate. I don't usually have these wines because they're brut, they're dry in style, but this is something that I just might stretch and have it with a nice bowl of strawberries and whipped cream. That could happen. The second wine, which is the late disgorged rosé, is of course a couple of years older, a little bit richer, a little bit a little more depth with time. Doesn't have all that kind of flamboyant fruit, but it has some wonderful kind of cherry notes. Now it's been the same winemaker, me, for all of these wines, and yet year to year there's differentiation. There's different, the vintage may be warmer or cooler, and so it's the same winemaker and the same vineyards, but yet the wines themselves express themselves quite differently. And this one has the cherry and the cassis again, and when I taste this, I get the fruit coming through, and maybe just a hint of lemon in the finish, as well as the toastiness and richness on the palate. Then we're going to move on to the Loretta, and this is also a 14. I wish you could be right here seeing exactly how tiny these bubbles are. They're just minute. In the early days, Claude Taittinger, then president of Champagne Taittinger, said, "Eileen, how do you get those bubbles so little?" And I said, "It's my secret, and I still have a job." But I think it's partially because over the years, I separated out a particular yeast strain to create those bubbles, and they create very, very tiny bubbles. But of course, the age also plays into it as well. So we've talked about the fruitiness in the first 2 pinks, so to speak, pinks. And when we go on to the Loretta, the fruit is different. Now what I get first and foremost is a red rose. I know you didn't think that was a fruit, but you'll have to trust me on this. Red rose and a little bit of nectarine in it as well. There's also a bit of summer herbs in the background too. And we tasted this last evening. It was really stunning. It's such a delicate wine, very delicate wine, but at the same time, it had great body and finish to it. How can something delicate have really this level of body and finish? I think that's the the grapes, and the aging together that has created that wonder in this glass. We had a hard time deciding which of the three. We'd opened all three bottles together, and we decided which one we were going to have out on the back deck with a nice triple cream cheese. Don't tell anybody I'm eating triple cream cheeses, but we actually went through the glasses one by one and enjoyed them a little bit more. I do admit that we end up with a second glass of the Loretta Rosé, but we enjoyed them all thoroughly, and if you're given to it, triple cream, you might also try a little smoked salmon. That's always a very wonderful accompaniment. And then there is, as strawberries start to come into the market, strawberries and whipped cream for dessert. So, à votre santé, and may you always look through rose-colored glasses. Thank you.